Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Waterville City Council. There are agendas available on the table near the entrance or online at the city's website. Consent agenda items are routine in nature, which are voted on in one motion and vote. Unfinished business or new business items are voted on separately. Councilors will be given the opportunity for questions or for comments, followed by citizens who must speak at the podium, identifying themselves. Citizens will be allowed to speak one time per agenda item for up to 3 minutes. Citizens who wish to speak on a topic that does not appear on tonight's agenda will have the opportunity to do so during the public comment section of the agenda for up to 3 minutes. And first up tonight, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, next, any disclosure of interest, any conflicts of interest for any of the councilors on any of the votes they may take tonight? Seeing none, we will move right on to our presentation. Second quarter finance report. Finance Director Christina.
Shocking. Good evening. I'm not providing the detailed reporting tonight on the specialized accounts as I originally had outlined. Since that time, the city has hired an intern to assist with grants and projects. And so I met with Nathan Burdada on January 28th to discuss the preliminary accounting summary, which I had put together. And I just feel it is more efficient and a better use of time to work as a team on this report. It updates him on some things that he's not aware of and gives him some background knowledge on it. And he can share things with me that he might know about preliminary discussions that I'm not aware of. And so we will do that together as a team and present that, hopefully the very first meeting of March for you. So in addition to that, I would like to report that the city shows a healthy cash flow still. For the second quarter, the interest rates on the checking and operating accounts remain in the 3.5% range during this quarter. It's a slight decline from the 3.7 from the prior period, but certainly not as significant as we thought going into the year. That could happen, so that's a positive thing in my book. And the markets has held strong for the trust and the bequeath accounts, allowing for a respectable gain in those. Overall, we're in a good financial position for the quarter. Expenditures across the city, mostly within the benchmark, except the police department is slightly over the 50%. Most of this can be attributed to the additional holidays that were given during the Christmas. Because of contract agreements, they're obligated to pay at a much higher rate on holidays for work time and overtimes. And so I wanted to add that because it's certainly not that it's a misspending or overage of that type. It's just happened because of the union contracts and that declaration. So revenues are under projected for the amounts of the EMS and for Quarry Road at the midway point. I have not had a chance to look at EMS through January in detail, but normally those pick up going in the winter months and into the spring. Unfortunately, more people call for service during that time. So we will watch for that. Quarry Road, I did look at when I did the reconciliation, and at the end of January, that had picked up to 77,000 from 24. So it's very much subject to the winter skiing and the events out there. So I think it will look totally different when we look at it in March than what we're projecting for December. But I do report on it if it's under, just to give you a little better explanation of those. So I have no strong concerns with any standard budget accounts at this time. And as part of this report, I did do a little breakdown on the different types of accounts. I know some of you may be very well familiar with finances and how they work. Some of you may not be quite as familiar. And so I thought just to identify the account types that we deal with and I speak about at different meetings to give a little bit more clarity of what I'm talking about. So it just kind of defines what capital reserves are, what special revenues / enterprise accounts are that are trying to operate kind of as a business of what is being done with revenues to offset the cost. Our trust funds and bequeaths. Then we have our grants and donations, which we track those all outside of the regular budget. And I try to give you documentation attached to the regular budget projections and where we are. And we continue to refine those. And those will be the subject of the report that we give in March on those specialized accounts. So I wanted to get this to you so you had a chance to look at it. You could say, well, where does this fall under this? So like quarry would fall under that special revenue enterprise. The airport really works that way. You look at what they're earning and you're hoping that it fully covering what it's costing to operate. Whereas more of them operate as budgets of the city. And you pretty much are assured that they're never going to take in enough revenue from that department to fully fund it. It's going to be relying upon taxes. So I'd be happy to give more individual when I'm here with Nate. I don't want to take up a lot of your time this evening where we will be giving that report, but I am happy to elaborate or answer any questions on the material I gave you.
Any questions from the council at this point? All right, wonderful. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You bet. Okay, moving on to our city manager report.
Thank you. For those following along in the agenda packet, either in person or online, I've listed out some different categories of items to talk about, namely updates of our departments, things that are happening in the city, the community, and also some recognition and special thanks. So for the departments, I'll start off with letting you all know that there's something called the Kennebec County All Hazards Risk Assessment. So that is something that occurs every 5 years. And the county and all the communities within the county has to get together to look at their emergency operations protocols and whatnot and go to not only an initial meeting, which the fire chief and deputy chief went to recently, but then a lot of department heads in various departments go to 3 workshop meetings with other community members in the county and try to workshop different elements of preparedness for different emergencies that may occur. And then we're assessed on that, and it's a good process that the county takes the lead on to ensure that we're always prepared for those what-if situations. So I appreciate the department heads and managers that are attending on behalf of our city. Next is the Community Paramedicine Program, which is under Fire EMS. As you may know from prior meetings, the Colby College Policy Lab, their students have been looking at the data from their services of the community paramedicine to analyze it and help us understand the effectiveness of that programming in our community, helping people in medical need. And they're going to give a presentation report on their research in March at a meeting. So that'll be great to see the fruits of their work looking at our information we gave them. And then similarly, the community paramedicine program with our various partners in the fire department, EMS, some counselors, and our intern who was earlier referenced, we put in a letter of intent to apply for a grant for that program so it can be funded versus not with taxpayer dollars, but with grant money. So we're hopeful that that will move to the next step, and we'll know in the coming weeks and months if that will be awarded to the city to help pay for those services, which would be valuable. And then next, I have the Health and Welfare Department. It's not any specific update, but rather just an update on the fact that there is a program, for many that know of, called General Assistance. And that's a program that is majorly needed for those in crisis situations and in dire need of emergency assistance. And that's across the state, and the city is required to provide those services. but there's eligibility requirements and whatnot to qualify for that. The Health and Welfare Department is very key component of working with area partners in our community as well, service providers. And so when we can't provide the services for various reasons, like state law says it can't be general assistance, the community providers work hand in hand. That's the goal. So I bring this up as many people brought it to my attention that they'd like to learn more about the specifics of how this program works and if there's any opportunities for to make it even more impactful in the community, and if not, what the alternatives could be, so we can partner with our area partners and in the community, different service providers, to see if we can work better with them to meet the needs that the city can't. And I listed the term presumptive eligibility. That may not mean much to the average person, but that's just one of the topics that have been thrown around of one of the areas of state law where we can maybe understand it better to help those in need with the funds that are ultimately reimbursed to the city by the state at a heavy level if we are able to expend them to help people. So that's just a heads up, saying that at a future meeting, we may invite someone from the state to come present on that matter. So to clear the air on what that program can and can't do, and what opportunities are for when that program isn't the answer to help people. The next one is the department budgets are being reviewed as we speak. All this week, various meetings with myself, the finance director, and the department heads are meeting with each department to discuss their budget well in advance of the process that ultimately lands with the mayor and then the council for a full public process. So we're working on that, so by this spring it will be ready for the public to be involved in that. In the community, the CSX Waterville rail yard, you may have seen in the news that there was some reported either relocation or layoffs of 21 positions. Whenever that occurs in the community, we want to take that seriously and make sure the people affected have our support. So the city has reached out to Central Maine Growth Council, Chamber of Commerce, Department of Labor, just to ensure there's protocols in place that these people, these staffers have opportunities to have workforce retention, transition support, and that we are trying our best to communicate with the railway of their intentions to support those people. So we're working on that as we speak. And then I put the Taconic Bridge project. I'm not going to get into specifics, but those of you that drive around probably know it hasn't been fully open for some time due to road work on it and construction efforts. That's going to be wrapping up later this year, but there will be some updates in the coming months for partial times of closure. And we're working with the construction entities to ensure that we are aware of when those are going to land, and so we can communicate with the public so they know their options for how to get places until that project will be wrapped up in the summer. The next one, it's not listed, but I wanted to bring it up because it just came to my attention. At a former meeting, I had said that we would let the community and the council know when the tax-acquired properties, there were 4 of them recently, are going to be put up for sale, and 1 is going to be listed quite soon, and the other 3 will be forthcoming, and that one's on Reddington Street. I just said I would provide an update, so that is forthcoming soon, where the city acquired the property and it's putting it out for sale to people in the community that would like to purchase it. Lastly, recognition and special thanks. I've said to various department heads and counselors that I'm very impressed, only being here a month, with the great work that our staff performs and has well before I came in. And I thought to mention it when possible to the community would be a great idea, so you know some of what they're up to. One thing first is our PSAP operations manager, Sarah Batiste, was selected as a Region 3 coordinator for a National Emergency Number Association, so that's like E911 and dispatch, whatnot. And that organization works on trainings and awards for dispatch services in our community. So we're pleased to see that she was selected for that to represent us at a regional level. There was a very favorable commendation from the Maine DOT, and I've included the full letter as an attachment. And the Maine Department of Transportation's commissioner specifically cited Waterville staff's assistance for the tragic incident that claimed the lives of 2 Maine DOT employees recently near KMD. And I wanted to read a little bit of the letter, not the whole letter, which is in the agenda. They wanted to specifically acknowledge the efforts of the Waterville Fire Rescue Department and Waterville Public Works Department, and the police department was also very helpful in that. They said, in quote from the commissioner, "In the immediate aftermath of this heartbreaking event, your team's professionalism, compassion, and coordination were evident. From emergency response and scene management to the care shown for our employees, their families, and our crews, the City of Waterville demonstrated the very best of public service. These moments test all of us, and your leadership and support did not go unnoticed." So I'd like to personally commend them myself. Those departments rose to the occasion to go above and beyond to provide safety for our community in a very compassionate way, and it didn't go unnoticed. Next, we also had a recognition from the state police for a different matter. And they, the Maine State Police sent a letter to Chief Bonney to formally recognize and thank Chief Bonney and members of the Waterville Police Department for their outstanding assistance during a recent highway incident, and because their officers provided critical support throughout a situation. And this is a quote from the letter: "The coordination, thoroughness, and professionalism demonstrated by your department were instrumental in bringing this incident to a safe and effective resolution. We at Troop 1 greatly appreciate your partnership and dedication shown by your officers." So once again, very proud to be able to say that all of our staff involved in these matters rose to the occasion, and it's, you should all be proud as well of their efforts. And lastly, I don't have a letter for this one, but it's perhaps the most visible of all. It's Public Works roadway clearing. We have our director here in the audience, and I bet a lot of you drive around town daily, but sometimes there's a big snowstorm, maybe a foot or two, and even then, those the people that are plowing, they're working tirelessly, especially when you're sleeping, but all hours to clear the roadways, keep them safe, and then follow-up days to clear out that snow. And I want to thank and congratulate them on a job well done, because it's not easy work, and the community is very appreciative. That's all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to council comments or committee reports. Any members of the council have an update they'd like to provide? Councilor Beal.
I got a letter from the Nancy Williams, who's the president of the Waterville Community Land Trust, and I'm just going to highlight some of the information in it. First off, she wanted to thank the city council and the city for the loan of $100,000 that they've been using to finish the condo rebuild at 3 Carrion in the South End. And she also wanted to let us know that they have been awarded a grant from the Boston Home Loan Bank under the Affordable Home Program that will be used to help finish that project. And this project's going very well. There's volunteers working on it as often as they can, and it's going to be a nice facility for people to buy and live in the South End, hopefully young families. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councilor comments? Yes, Councilor.
I just wanted to give a shout out to camp, and I see the executive director here. They put on an amazing community dinner a couple weeks ago, and I just want to thank them for that and all of the work that they're doing just to support everyone in our community. It's very important, and I know it's a very stressful time, so thank you for that. And I also wanted to give a shout out that on Saturday, from 10:15 to 2:30 is Take Your Child to the Library Day. I will be there to read, and I think others will be as well. And it should be a really great event, so I hope people do come out and take their kids to our wonderful library.
Yeah, that's a great event. I was hoping to get to that too. I was scheduled to do that, and Quinn is participating in some science Olympiad in Harvard, so I tapped Nick on the shoulder, and Nick and his wife are taking Amy and my places so that they didn't have to go scrambling to get that spot filled. So it does seem like a great event, and I'm hoping to get over there at some point
Lucky
to
for me, I
read to
don't
some
have a
kids.
kid going to Harvard.
Well, yeah, we're not paying for it. I would just say we're just there for a day, you know. So like whatever. But yeah, Councilor Green.
I just wanted to make sure, in case people don't know what CAMP stands for. Yeah, the Capital Area New Mainers Project. And as Councilor Burdick said, it's wonderful to have them working so actively in our community, and you can find them online, and I hope you'll support them. Thanks.
Awesome. Anyone else? All right, we do have a member of our youth council, Alexandria, if you want to just introduce yourself and just kind of give just a brief update of what we've been doing.
Hi, I'm Alexandria Lord. I'm on the Waterville Youth Council. We're continuing to work on drafting an ordinance to improve dark skies in Waterville, Maine. We had 2 presenters here last night, Serena from Waterville Creates and John Meter from who's an astronomist and an advocate for dark skies. We also had a trip and a tour of the fire station recently. So our next, what we're working on next is getting that ordinance drafted and looking at legislature to do that, so, yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Councilor Beal.
Would it be possible for you all to invite Serena to come address the city council on the Dark Skies Initiative?
Yeah, that's on part of the rollout.
Okay.
Yeah, as we finish this up. Yeah, that is part. It was a really good presentation last night. So I think there was some talk about it'd be very worthwhile for them to come and do a modified version of that to the council and to the public. So yeah. Okay. Moving on to consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? All right, wonderful. Can I get a motion to read by title only,
Motion to
please?
read by title only.
Mayor, I believe we skipped public
Oh,
comment.
shoot, I'm so
we do
sorry,
have
sorry,
public
yes.
comment.
I apologize. Thank you, Counselor. Anyone here from the public that wish to make some comment this evening? Okay, all right, bunch of you, great. Joe, we'll start with you. We'll go to you next.
Most of you already know me. My name's Joe Lemieux.
Yeah,
I live at 4 Fern Drive. I got a concern about public safety on KMD. As it's a fact of life, since I've been here for 4 years, that you sit at a red light, your light turns green, and you watch 3 or 4 cars go through a red light. And the reason I'm saying something tonight, I got used to it, so I count to 3 before I take off on my green light. We've had 2 deaths of students with buses in the last, 2, 3 months? The other day, coming off from Carter Memorial Drive, the light turned green for me. 3 cars went through, and then one of our school buses. I feel there should be some more police presence on KMD. The speed limit's 35, and I swear to God, I'm 70 years old. I've driven a lot over this country. There's people doing 50, 55 going up KMD. So I don't know if it's something the council can address with the police department. My boy knows a couple of the police officers on the force, and when I mentioned to him, he was told that they don't stop anyone in KMD because of safety. Well, if we're breaking the law, that's where your safety issue is. So we need to enforce the rules of the road so no one gets killed in this city because someone runs a red light. Thank you.
thanks, Joe. All right, sir.
Yeah, I'm having problems in my neighborhood. Every time I have a neighbor,
sorry.
causing problems with me.
Name and where?
Anthony Griffin,
Okay, and what ward do you live in? You know what ward? street?
6.
Ward 6? Okay, great. Go ahead.
So I've been moving around, but I started here 5 years ago, and everywhere I go, they're giving me problems. I have a mental disability. We're gonna call it that.
Okay.
And so they're just for threatening me, and they want to throw hands, and I've had that happen before. And then I also had a person that they lied, and they said that I broke their taillight when I didn't do it. And then they were playing with their truck, and they put a blue tarp over it, and they were flashing lights and doing something. And the person that I lived with at the time, an older man, he ended up falling down the stairs and getting hurt and pooping and peeing himself and all this bad stuff. And then, but everywhere I go, I've been having problems, and they're threatening me. And I've been paying rent here. I've already paid for a whole year, $10,000. So I expect that I can get some respect from the people. And I've been trying to deal with the court stuff, but it takes too long, and they don't tell you the rules. They make you have to pay for it. And so instead of talking to the council, the legal counsel, I thought I could talk to the city council instead.
Okay.
And then nobody wants to help me deal with my issue, so I have a side project that I had a business that wouldn't serve me because of, like, I was touching the lights and going like this with the lines around the buildings, and they told me I couldn't come back, and 3 of them pressed me out to the street. So I was gonna make a complaint about that because I can't get the mental disability part taken care of. And it's causing me a lot of issues because I can't have a companion.
Okay.
So it's making me have to live alone and struggling.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, listen, I appreciate you very much for coming and saying, if you do me a favor, do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, could you give it to Patty? Can you give it your name and number? And either myself or someone else will be in touch with you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having the courage to come here and tell us your story. You're very welcome. Thank you. All right. Sir. Okay. You were next, sir. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Bruce Poulin, and I'm a resident of Waterville, Maine. And I'd like to discuss the chemtrails in the sky.
Chemtrails.
They're all over Maine, and the chemicals that are in there are, and there's more than aluminum, lithium, and other chemicals in there, and they're poisoning the skies. 7 states have banned this. Maine should follow suit immediately. Also, I'd like to discuss the Marxist poisoning infecting America. For many decades, Marxist socialists have been carrying out a long march through the institutions, taking control of the schools, corporations, and government. We see this diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, which also stands for Deport Every Immigrant, and CRT, Critical Race Theory. Ultimately, they seek to overthrow Western civilization and the American form of government. DEI and CRT were created by members of the Frankfurt School, a group of radical Marxist socialists. How do we save our children from this? We got to get them out of public schools. Reforming the schools is not an option. They were originally created by Marxists, influenced individuals to control the next generations. So let's get together and get them out of the schools. Enroll your children in Freedom Project Academy and partner with local churches to provide homeschooling options. Thank you very much. Any questions?
No. Thank you. Anyone else? Ma'am.
Hello. My name is Maisie Shin. I'm a student at Colby College, which is part of Ward 3. And I'm a little bit nervous. I apologize, so I have something I can read
You're
out.
fine. Thank you.
So this is the beginning of idea that I discussed with a couple of counselors after the previous meeting on the 20th, but I thought it would be a good idea to bring up formally. I've only been here a year and a half, and it seems to me that there's a separation between Colby College and Waterville that's fairly unique. because of the geographic separation between the city and the main campus, it's likely that those with the loudest voices at my college don't see enough of the city that hosts them. In order to start bridging this gap, I suggest that the City Council ask Colby to send a listening ear to regular council meetings. I wanted to bring this to the City Council first because I want their opinion to ensure that this is actually helpful to the city. After attending the previous council meeting, I found that Colby only attends when the matter being discussed directly relates to the institution, and I think that that should change because it means that Colby will be more aware of the indirect effects it might have on the community. By attending regular city council meetings, Colby can be more aware of the goings-on of Waterville, which can better inform decisions to improve their relationship with the city. There are many forms that this could take, and I don't want to limit the possibilities. So the only suggestion I have is that the attendee or attendee's notes be read by the administration as a supplement to the meeting notes that are posted on the website.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anyone else for public? Nancy?
Hi, Nancy Sanford, and I live in Ward 1. And Nick, was very happy to see the presumptive eligibility in your report, because I know that it works in Portland, and I have faith that it will work in Waterville. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone online? All right. Moving on. Okay, so let's back up. Motion. We get the motion to read by title only, correct? Okay, thank you. And let's start with Ordinance 23-2026.
Vote on the motion.
Yeah, I'm not sure that we.
We did not vote.
All right, well, let's do that. Can I get, and take two. Can I entertain a motion to read by title only, please?
Motion to read by title only.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Wonderful. Now, moving on to Ordinance 23-2026.
Adopt the mobile home park rent fee stabilization ordinance.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, this was on our agenda last time, and we moved it, we tabled it for this time because we needed to clean up some language. I believe that language has been cleaned up. I don't know if you want to say anything.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you look at the agenda packet, we listened to counselor feedback and also worked with legal counsel. And in that are proposed amendments that you would need to further if you're so inclined. And there are a number of them, but they're mostly, as the mayor stated, clarifications on wording and days. If you like, somebody could certainly read what they are, but that might be of your prerogative to do so. But an example would be making sure we know when a petition is submitted, where it goes, so to the clerk's office, who then forwards it to the board that is designated. Another example would be that the majority of board membership be Waterville residents, and the specific wording is within. Another one is specifying that a certain deadline be 5 business days, not 5 days, in case it's over a weekend or a holiday. And we're happy to respond to questions with a legal counsel that is present as well, if you have any.
All right, any discussion with any of the changes that were made? Do we have to move this as an amendment? Yeah, okay. So before we talk, do we want to move that as an amendment now to discuss it, or do you want to discuss the amendments prior? Doesn't matter.
Move it to discuss it.
Okay. All right. So I will entertain a motion then to accept the amendments that were made from the first reading to the second reading.
So, so moved. I'll do it.
Second.
And any discussion on the amendments?
I can say that the amendments that were made and the verbiage that was used, I think fulfills everything that I had hoped. I think it's quite well written now, and it covers a lot of our bases, and a lot of the questions that I previously had have been resolved.
All right, we'll move as amended. All those in favor? All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so now, that was
for the
voting
amendment.
on the amendment.
Thank you.
Now you need to move it as amended.
Move as amended.
So moved.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Oh, this is a roll call? Oh, it's a roll call, it's a second vote. Thank you, Patty, I appreciate that. Roll call.
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor Burdick?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Quigley?
Yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
Counselor Harard?
Yes.
All right, 5 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, this is ordinance 2024, ordinance 24, 2026. Second reading for this.
Amend the boards, committees, and commissions ordinance.
Move to adopt.
And Patty, do you want to give us just a quick synopsis of why we're doing this?
Is there a second to that?
Sorry.
We didn't get it.
Second. Thank you. This basically changes the charge of the Rent Stabilization Board Committee to require more than a minimum of members be residents of Waterville.
Thank you. Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the amendment, the amended version of ordinance 24, 2026?
I'll move to accept.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. And now to, any discussion?
Move it as amended
Oh,
now.
move as amended?
So moved.
Okay. And
Second.
Roll call? Or no, we have a discussion now. Okay. Counselor Beal?
I got the impression there, did y'all have anything you wanted to say about?
All Spencer answered. I wanted
Okay.
to see a copy of the ordinance.
I have a question. We had a question too.
Oh, feel free, yeah.
Hi, Diana Kambelik. My only question is the board in place for the mobile home?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That'll be at the next meeting. We'll put the folks in place.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because I have a feeling as soon as this goes into effect, we're going to get an increase.
Yeah, we're ready for that.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Thank you.
We're good. We've been doing some due diligence behind the scene. Yes, ma'am?
Lois Lemuel. My question is, when the moratorium, how soon can they raise our rent after this goes into place?
This will go into effect 21 days from now, if I remember correctly. And then after
21
that,
days.
that will be the point at which it has to go through this whole process. However, our moratorium does not end until after that, if I remember correctly.
The
So,
moratorium, I believe is, Derek, please forgive me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, but.
So they're not, can't raise our rent till
Hold
after
on
April?
one second. So as I understand that once this goes into effect, that overrides the moratorium that we have, is that correct?
Well, they'll run concurrently with one another, so the moratorium will stay in place till it sundowns. This will take effect prior to that. So they won't be able to raise it automatically. They still have the moratorium to deal with, but it'll give us time to get the board in place.
Okay.
To
So-
hear that.
Which I believe is April, is that?
That is correct.
Correct, yeah,
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just curious, what's his name? I don't see that.
I'm sorry, Derek Bizik. I work with Bill Lee with Donald Lee Martin Duboard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Anyone else? Any other comments, concerns? Okay. Can I have a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly?
Yes.
Counselor Burdick?
Yes.
Counselor Green?
Yes.
Counselor Quigley?
yes.
Counselor Beal?
Yes.
Counselor Harard?
Yes.
Thank you, 6 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, moving on to Resolution 29, 2026.
Authorize waiver of foreclosures of municipal tax liens.
Move to adopt.
All right. Nick, you want to?
Second.
Thank you. Nick, will you kick us off?
Yes, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you.
This was postponed or tabled, if you will, until this meeting to allow for time of clarification, and because there was no immediate need, urgent need to act, because the foreclosures would take effect February 10th or 11th, so there was time to do so to gain clarification. And the primary point of clarification of what this authorized to waiver foreclosure for these properties is just to clarify, it is saying that we do not want to acquire these properties, which are all mobile homes, but rather, we still reserve our right as a city to pursue the payment of those unpaid taxes. This action does not at all get rid of that right to continue to collect the taxes, and we intend to continue collection behaviors and activities as we would normally. It just says we don't want to acquire these particular mobile homes instead of payment. We want to pursue the payment, and we still have the legal rights to do so, and will continue to do so.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the council with regard to that? Okay. I appreciate that. Okay, first reading, all those in favor?
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Moving on to ordinance 30, 2026.
Amend the zoning ordinance 6.2E for variances.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, just to be clear, this one is handicap ramps. Okay. Any discussion with regard to this? All right. Seeing none. Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Burdick,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Craigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Gerard,
Yes.
6 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, wonderful. Moving on to ordinance 31, 2026.
Amend the zoning ordinance 7.1 amendments.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. All right, any discussion with regard to this? This is the request from the our request to the planning board to talk about referring things to the planning board. So I'm assuming folks had an opportunity to take a look at this and make sure that was good. Any comments or concerns at this point? I see Ann here for any clarification. All right, seeing none. Dee, can I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Burdick,
No.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Craigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Gerard,
Yes.
5 in favor, 1 opposed.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to new business, Resolution 34, 2026.
Approve the restated memorandum of understanding with Alphon Youth and Community Center for Purnell Wrigley Field.
Move to adopt.
Maybe second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Matt, do you want to kick us off with why we're here? Yeah.
Thank you. Good evening. So you saw the restated MOU in your packets. Councilor Green and I got together. She had a few concerns, one of them being the term and a few other items. So I thought that, I hope that in fairness to the AYCC, who is a great partner, great facility that we're talking about here, that they had a chance to sit down at the table with us so we could work out a few of the finer details. Sure. Yep, a little more time. I think we can tighten this up.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to be clear, the concerns came from a resident, so I appreciate the opportunity to have a little more discussion with AYCC about this term, which in the current form is 20 years. So I move that we table this until the next meeting.
One second. Councilor Beal had a comment before we table and discussion. Go ahead, Councilor.
Would this be a topic that we could talk about at the Parks and Recreation First Committee?
Potentially, yeah.
Because I have the concerns that the resident raised that we need to deal with, and that might be a good forum to talk about some of this stuff.
It could be, Councilor. That would mean that it may not be brought to at the next meeting.
Right.
So that might need to be adjusted.
I also think that compromise is always a good thing, and I think bringing the Alphon Youth Center to the table is an appropriate response. So I think tabling it is a good idea, just to, table it to when.
Could we table it till after our first meeting of the Parks Recreation Committee?
When is that?
Are we,
Soon.
It'll be this month,
Yeah,
in
are we-
February.
And Patrick is a part of that, so we can have the Alphon Youth Center right there to talk with them about
And
it.
that's this month?
Yes.
What if we table it, for a meeting in March, perhaps?
are we up any timeline for,
It expires in April, so this is
Okay.
the time to be
Perfect.
debating about. I think
Okay.
that makes sense.
all right.
So yeah, I'll motion to table it to the first meeting in March.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Resolution 35, 2026.
Refer to the planning board, zoning map amendment, 99 Webb Road.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion with regard to this? Let's see. All right, seeing none. All those in favor? All right, thank you very much. Resolution 36, 2026.
Refer to the planning board, zoning ordinance amendment, chickens.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion with regard to chickens? Councilor Peel?
I was thoroughly confused. I'm not sure what so the proposed ordinance is now just 5,000 square feet and 6 chickens?
I believe so.
Well-
On the current ordinance, or what we're asking them to review?
What we're asking them to review.
Yeah, I believe that those were the two items that were.
So we're just asking the planning board to review these.
I had thought that the idea was to present the planning board with the proposed ordinance that Leo, resident here in Waterville, had given us as potential information for them to take and then review the policy and figure out if there is a newly updated version that might be well beyond the scope of just those specific changes, but might encompass other things as well, including potentially how to dispose of roosters that we have, because that's kind of a loophole in our current system and things like that, and would take a view that was far beyond just the lot size and whatnot.
Councilor Green?
Well, so I spoke with a veterinarian in town and got some more information on keeping chickens, and he did talk about the fact that there are, he sees chickens, which not all veterinarians do, and so. And he also recommended that 6 chickens is the minimum that should be kept because of their need to flock together in the winter. And so he had some good recommendations based on his knowledge as a vet. So I believe the council decided that we don't want the planning board to consider the possibility of slaughtering chickens within the city residential districts, except for the rural residential. So I'm not sure if there are other considerations that got missed in terms of the concerns.
I'm not sure if that was a formal decision for us to actually do. I know that we were the council was a bit split on that, but I don't know if we ever made a formal decision of whether or not we wanted to propose the slaughtering portion of that to go to the planning board or not.
Councilor Burdick?
I'm also a little confused how we got to the 5,000 square feet, and I don't see anything about the buffers, and I know that code enforcement specifically said that he thinks it's very important to keep the buffers in place, so I'm a little concerned about that. And I also have concerns about the roosters being allowed as well, and I don't know how that got in there.
To clarify for me, are you specifically talking about the allowance of the roosters via the proposal that was handed to us?
Well, that's in the zoning ordinance that we're sending to the.
Correct. My assumption was that it would be a guiding document, not a requirement to, that is not our official proposal.
Okay, well, Planning Board Member Johnson, please take note that roosters I'm against the proposal.
Ann? Thank you, ma'am.
I just wanted to point out that there are ellipsis marks in this ordinance, so the whole ordinance is under consideration for revision. I just copied down to the part that included the lot size. I spoke with Mr. St. Peter, who brought this to your attention, and he seemed to be happy with just this one change because he understands now that rezoning his property to rural residential allows him to do all of those things that he wanted to be allowed to do. So there's a lot of flexibility with chickens in the rural residential zone, not so much in the more urban part of the city with smaller lot sizes. And the number of 5,000 square feet is totally arbitrary, but it came from the idea that the state has changed the law concerning the maximum minimum lot size. And so we now will have to we're prevented from requiring more than 5,000 square feet per lot. So it tracks that change.
Councilor Green?
But we can require elements like the buffers and.
They're still in there,
Yeah,
yes.
and they're still in there,
I just didn't
right.
copy the whole
Yeah.
ordinance, so.
Okay,
And
yeah.
Bill Lee has advised me in the past that the planning board can discuss whatever it feels necessary, not just exactly what the council sent to it.
Okay. Councilor Harron?
And along with that, can we also determine the maximum number of chickens as well?
Yes, sure.
Regardless of what the state, because for me, I just want to say too, the humane piece of this is a concern for me. Like I've seen some things from animal control, first of all, like a lot of the calls that they've responded to, and if we start increasing the ability to have chickens, those calls are going to probably increase. So I just want to put that out there for people that aren't necessarily thinking about it, that humane treatment of animals, just because we eat them doesn't mean they don't deserve humanity. So, but thank you.
So going forward, do you think it would behoove us to change the language in this, or perhaps table it, or are we comfortable, moving this forward to the planning board as written, given what Ann has stated in regards to they can discuss pretty much anything or provide recommendations on?
From my perspective, I think that Ann clarified quite a lot from what I had been questioning, and I'm comfortable sending this to the planning board with that information.
Anyone else? Okay. All those in favor? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann.
Okay, moving on to Order 37, 2026.
Accept donation from Friends of Quarry Road.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Matt, please.
Okay, thank you. So the donation in particular is from Kennebec Savings Bank. They've been great partners of the City of Waterville and Friends of Quarry Road almost since the beginning. They've supported us more than a few times. I'm going to say at least a half a dozen times. So the primary use of these funds was used to expand the Alpine Hill and to install permanent lights. And a few other electrical things, bringing the power we needed over to the Alpine side for snowmaking efforts. Really just all around construction and supporting the advancement of the Alpine Hill. So we're very appreciative from Kennebec Savings Bank and Friends of Quarry Road for this.
All right. Any comments, concerns, questions from Matt with regard to this? All right. Can I get a roll call, please?
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Burdick,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Herrard.
Yes.
6 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Order 38, 2026.
Accept Main Trails grant funding from the Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry for the Quarry Roads Trails, Phase 1 Trails Master Plan.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All right, wonderful, thank you. Jeff, good evening. How are you tonight?
Doing well.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming in. Why don't you just give the council just a heads up as to what we're doing here tonight?
Sure. Yeah, so this is accepting funds from the Department of Agriculture, Conservation, and Forestry for the Main Trails program. So this is a $250,000 grant for that's really going to add to all the work we've already completed out there through the Northern Borders Regional Commission. And so funds are going to be used to construct 1.5 miles of new mixed-use trail. So this is single track for non-motorized recreation, mountain biking, hiking, snowshoeing. And then we're also going to construct a new trailhead building that we're really excited about, which is actually going to be right off of the new parking lot we've constructed. So lots of really exciting initiatives that we can do thanks to this grant.
Excellent. Any, Councilor Beal?
I've been very impressed with the work that Jeff Tucker has done. I think getting this grant for the quarry roads is an amazing accomplishment, and I hope that your management chain recognizes that and rewards you appropriately.
Oh, thank you. Any other comments? All right, seeing none, thank you very much. Okay, all those in favor? Oh, sorry. Roll call. Sorry, Dee, thank you.
Counselor Gilly,
Yes.
Counselor Burdick,
Yes.
Counselor Green,
Yes.
Counselor Krigbaum,
Yes.
Counselor Beal,
Yes.
Counselor Herrard.
Yes.
6 in favor, 0 opposed.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on to Ordinance 39, 2026.
Amend the zoning map, 70 Pleasant Street and 5 Middle Street, contract zone revision.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay. All right, who's teeing this one up? Nick? Oh, Jonathan, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing?
Great.
Hi, everyone. I want to thank Councilman Burdick and Councilman Green recognizing my day job as the Capital Area New Manor Project Executive Director. That being said, I am here tonight not represent. I want to make it clear that this property is not a Capital Area New Manor Project property. Yeah. It is a property that I recently acquired from the Brochu brothers, former Ware Butler, in December of 2025. And this zoning change is simply so that I can carry over the current zoning that was in place that Ware Butler had agreed to prior, that would allow us to use the 2 buildings adjacent to the Sacred Heart Church. There's an office building and a rectory on the property as commercial office spaces. So just looking to continue that zoning forward. At a later date, I will likely come before you with a larger plan for Sacred Heart, but that is not tonight.
So this is essentially just continuing the current contract zone?
Yeah, so what happens is in the language that was established with the contract zone, it was that at the point of sale, the zoning would revert to a general residential district from a commercial office district.
Great. All right, any questions? So this went to the planning board. It came back from the planning board with looks like a 5-0 vote to approve the request for the amendment to the contract zoning. So that's been in the file. So if there's any discussion, now would be the time. If not, we can certainly take a vote. Seeing none. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to Resolution 40, 2026.
Authorize the renewal of a special amusement permit to Lion's Den Tavern.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none. Anyone from the Lions in here? No. Okay. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next up, discussion item, Council 2026 goals. Nick?
Yeah, I'm happy to cue this up.
Thank you.
As was stated at a prior meeting, the council and mayor met in January for a day-long retreat on a Saturday here to get together and discuss their goals and priorities for this year. And throughout the day, notes were taken and then consolidated into priorities and action plans. The thought being the day-to-day work of the city staff is largely things that we must do for city services, but there's still a lot of leeway for the other time to prioritize either new things or expanded things, and what those priorities are for the council to direct the staff to take the lead on in the coming year. And then the goals would then be brought back to their attention quarterly for review on how we've been working on those, so there'd be line of sight to the public. As such, these goals are considered a draft at this point because the council wanted further public input, or at least eyes on it in the process. So this not being adopted tonight, it's just a discussion item, and I pass it over to the council because ultimately this is their document and their goals to direct the city staff, and they can make changes as they wish.
Thank you, Nick. All right, I will open it up to the council for discussion. Anyone have anything that they want to add or comment on in any of these at this point?
If not, I'm happy to add something. But did Councilor Green? Yes.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you. Well, first of all, to Craig Freshley, who convened our meeting, and also to you, I presume, for putting together, for organizing it in this way, which I think is a really useful roadmap to decisions we're going to make in the next year. And maybe it's worth just reading out the general areas that are that we identified. Number one is strengthen housing stability and expand home ownership. That has been a top priority for ever since I've been on council. But we have some real direction here in terms of prioritizing home ownership and also exploring infrastructure expansions is another avenue that we want to take to increase housing and in the city. Number two is grow the tax base through strategic development. Diversify funding in a sustainable, capacity-aware way. Improve customer service and communication, and enhance quality of life through mobility, health, and community support. And I would like to come back to Mr. Lemieux's comment at the beginning in public comment about safety on KMD. And this is something that has been really rising to the fore for me and other councilors. So I'm really excited about working on this one in particular to improve pedestrian and bike mobility, explore citywide parking and transit, advance the downtown vision plans, mobility principles, and also on here is examine options for improving local public health coordination, which we've also talked about. So this is, I'm excited about this, the way that these issues have come together and working on improving them.
Councilor Crebaum.
My hope is that with these goals that we have worked to highlight our future workshops that we will be hosting to come to hopefully some solutions for these. will be not only notified to the public and also be a major focus for us going through for this year. I think a lot of the workshops that we've had in the past, especially where things like the ambulance issues, were quite insightful and helped us resolve or come to a resolution at that time. And my hope is the same for all of these goals and their sub-goals associated with them. And I implore anybody out there who is curious to see where we want Waterville to go to look at the copy of the goals and see what our hopes for the city are, because I think it's laid out very well in this.
Councilor Beal.
One thing I'd like to make the public aware of is that these are goals that are going to be reported on. Progress against these goals is going to be reported on over the course of the year. One of the things we don't want to have happen is talk about the goals in January and then never again. So I would expect to see these, again, we've talked about that, and I think that'll be a very useful metric for talking about progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we had a great session. I think timing worked out really well. We had it very early in the year. We had Nick was able to join us after being on the job for 4 days, which was good. So to be here in this position, the first meeting in February, with having this discussion with a draft of what was discussed, I think is awesome for us to be ahead of the game, so to speak, and to really be out in front of this for the entire year. We did kind of have a fumble last year, and sure, we'll take some ownership of that, but I'm certainly excited for this outlook, the way this looks. I think this is fantastic, and again, set the expectation with the city manager that we report on these quarterly. So I think it'll be a fantastic fresh change from what we've done in years past. So thank you. All right. Any other further comments? Yes, Councilor Green.
So one of the things that you brought up, Mayor, it was the idea of having workshops to invite public engagement on a topic when we weren't actually voting on it, but just to really try to stimulate some input from the public, which we appreciate. It's really helpful for us when we're making our decision to hear what people think about what's going on. So I just wondered if you wanted to say something about that, or if this might be considered at a workshop, or if we're going to just put it on the agenda again. I'd love to get some public input and really highlight what we're looking at doing for this year.
I apologize. So what would you like to have happen? You want to have a workshop on the goal?
Well, I think I guess I was asking you to talk about your vision for workshops and how they might be used.
Yeah, I mean, I think the vision for the workshop was when the council got together to discuss EMS. It was done in a way that it was a different setting than spread out. We were together. We had folks that presented, the information, and it was a conversation, and there wasn't any pressure to make a vote or anything. It was just to sit and be a sponge and ask the questions that you wanted to ask, to then go back and talk to constituents in your ward, or talk amongst yourselves or with other folks, just to get better clarification as things that were coming down, that might be coming down the pipe. I thought that was a great use of our time. And that's why I suggested it, that we try to incorporate those going forward, to either talk about things that are coming down on agenda items or things that are on this list. I think when we spoke about it at the retreat, we kind of came to a consensus that, for one a month, and we'll certainly work with administration and the council chair to figure out what those look like. Certainly we'll open up, anyone on the council can say, yeah, I'd like to get some more information about this or that, and we can certainly get it into a schedule and move forward with that. So, yeah.
I agree. You know, I attended the EMS workshop. I thought it was very well done. And, you know, not only was, you know, our community able to attend and share their thoughts and concerns, but other leadership from other communities arrived and was able to contribute to the conversation as well. So absolutely, I mean, when it comes to our goals, I think it's important that, you know, we absolutely, if there's something that we want to have a further discussion, to include the public, because I'm all about transparency. I think, you know, that's no secret with me. I like to chat. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely work with the mayor and with Nick, and we'll get it done.
Might I propose that, given some of the community feedback we got today, that the pedestrian safety be one of the first workshops that we have a discussion on, especially since we are moving into construction season for public works and things like that, and if we wanted things to be done this year, this would be the time to start talking about that.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay. All right. So noted. Any other further discussion with regard to the council goals? All right, seeing none. All right, at this point, we are going to move on to executive session. I will say before we make a motion to go into executive session, this is the end of the regular scheduled meeting. There are no other scheduled votes this evening. So can I get a motion to go into executive session to talk about acquisition of real estate property, 1 MRS 4056C?
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. Sir.
I'd like to make a comment.